Hello, my beautiful bodies. Faith from Alchemist Empress. Happy New Year! Can you believe it? We're in 2019, and I hope that 2019 brought y'all a bunch of love and maybe time with people that you don't normally get, extra love, because I'm definitely, this is probably Santa I'm burning. I just want to send out all my love and light to y'all. This is going to be a little bit different. It's interesting because I was getting together doing a reading for the collective going into the new year, and it was like the divine spirit stopped me and basically giving me the message that I needed to go over a couple things because everyone, does their stuff different ways on their channel. And that's great. I think that's great. However, there's a lot of spiritual awakening happening, but causing people confusion, like they're going in search of what they're feeling, but then they're hearing these terms that they don't quite understand, that other users channels, or maybe even other stuff they're getting into or reading, and they're just not understanding. And so it's really important, in order for you to grow spiritually, that you understand what certain words mean, or it's like a foreign language to you. And I totally remember a long time ago when I started mine that things did kind of feel like a foreign energy to me. So there was a few things like terms that are used a lot in these videos, and I basically took the ones that they wanted me to clarify for y'all. Now, some of you who watch my channel are already very highly spiritual, or I don't like to put titles on things, but very, connected within yourself and love. And this will be one of the words I go over, the divine. So the ones that were most important, though, that I felt they were telling me, was discussing what is the collective. When you hear someone say, this is the daily reading for the collective, what is that? Who is that? Higher self. Well, some people think I'm right here, higher self. What does that mean? Is that a place and then, like I said, the divine. And then when it comes to like love readings and stuff, you hear a lot about twin flames, soulmates, karmic relationships, and what is the difference in all those. And so I still want to do I'm still going to get into my reading for the collective for the new year, but I'm going to make a separate video. And I'm going to try to, I made some notes as I was meditating on what exactly they wanted me to say, without being too overwhelming. because I'm planning on for the new year adding more content to my channel than just readings. I think it's really important, and other people that are very in tune with the divine may agree with me on this, but I definitely felt before the new year hit, and still feel it now, but I felt it stronger because it's like I got this vision of it. Um, but a lot of people lost in translation or confused. So they're just kind of going with the flow, lost in limbo, while other people are like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm on track. This is good. And I'm going to keep reaching higher. And that is so great. I love it. I love it. Because I'm personally doing that too. However, we can't leave others behind, because there's also, and I'm not going to get into this in this video, but I probably will do a video on it, because there's also they call it the 3-phase volunteers, which are basically, like I said, I try to be very careful with titles, but we'll just say light workers. And basically what they are 3 different generations. I'm just telling you just real basically, that were purposely sent here because the world was such a mess. And so they sent people with, these gifts, some similar, some different. It didn't come with an instruction manual. I know that for sure. I mean, I've known something different since I was a child. And then as I got older, I would always turn my back on it because I didn't know what it was. So finally I was like, why don't I just figure out what this is? And so certain people were chosen, before you even came to this earth, to be a light worker and to help bring back love to humanity, to help humanity, to help people spiritually awaken and show them the light, no matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter what you believe in, if you're spiritual, if you're religious, if you're nothing. At the end of the day, it all applies to everybody, because it's like one truth, and that truth is love, and many songs. So when I'm, my little minion, my little munchkin. Anyways, and one of my favorite quotes, I'm a quote person, is, and this is not to say anything bad about people who are religious, but I just feel like through my own experience, this totally applies to me. And the quote, forgive me, I don't know who wrote it, but it says, religion is for people who are afraid of hell, and spirituality is for people who've already been there. Okay, so I'm sure there's many of you that can relate to that, and probably even relate to it more than once, like I have. But I wouldn't change it, because I wouldn't be here getting to do the work that I truly love had I not been to those depths. I mean, nothing feels greater than not just saving a life. People save lives every day, and that's admirable. But to actually save a soul, is there's just not words for it. There's not words for it. So to be blessed and have whatever gifts that different people have been given is really something truly, truly beautiful and intimate. And I think that that's what it should be. It shouldn't be about having to go and worship a religion or a church or anything, worshiping that more than you worship the intimate relationship that you hold with the divine. I mean, it even says in the Bible, and Jesus said, "To you I give unto a new covenant," and that is love. And that was it, just love. How it got all crazy, twisted, I do know, but I don't like to go into that stuff too much. So anyways, the first thing I want to start with is the collective, okay, because you're going to hear that a lot. Like I said in the beginning of the video, as I was getting ready to do the daily reading for the collective, Spirit kind of stopped me, not from doing the reading, could still do the reading, but they wanted me to help people understand these words that they're going to hear when they're seeking out spiritual terms or watching certain videos or watching the tarot stuff, and they hear things like divine and twin flame and all that stuff. So, but I'm going to try to make it as short as I can, I promise. And then I will jump into the reading because I'm excited for that too. And I have a feeling it's going to be a good one. I really, really do. And I just love y'all so, so much. And I feel so blessed to... It's like there really was a transformation this New Year's that I don't think we've ever experienced. And if we have, it wasn't during our generation or the last, I don't know how many, but a while. So I think this was a very, very special New Year's. There was a lot of pain and suffering that was going on before the New Year's hit. But, I got this intense, like I said, this intense energy, premonition type thing from my peeps. That's what I call my angels, my guides, my ancestors, the divine God, Mother God, all that good stuff. And it totally felt like it was already here, but not. I kept getting not it was already manifested, but it was like it wasn't here. And then all of a sudden I was shown human conception, pregnancy, and birth. So this thing, this energy that's been so intense, literally was manifested and sent here, but it had to grow and nurture in divine time, and then it would be birthed for us to do as we do it. Of course, I can tell you what that is. Everyone has free will, but obviously the main goal is to get people spiritually awoken and understanding the true meaning of love. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean what the typical idea of what love is. It doesn't have to mean that. It can be intimate. It can be for family, children. I mean, to really have a true understanding of that love. And it's like, oh, where did I write that? I'm so sorry. I tried to take notes, then I was gonna like highlight just what I was gonna say after I took them. But then I put the baby down. I put him down one time to get on here with y'all, and my other son woke him up, so I had to wait a while, get him back to sleep and all that. So forgive me for that. However, I want to say, okay, yeah. So, the bottom line being the spiritual awakening, which the main goal is love, like I said, and to exemplify true love to the world. But to be true love, you have to know true love. To know true love, you have to grow love. To grow love, you have to cultivate love and create your own love. And then that gives you balance and purpose that you were brought here for. So anyways, let's get into, like I said, I want to start with the collective and what that means. So I'm going to do this. I'm such a visual learner, so it's like I draw a bunch of pictures and I'm trying to think, well, I guess I could hold up. It might be easier for y'all to understand. Well, maybe not. We'll try it with words. And if I get a feeling that the words aren't getting across the correct way through the messages I'm hearing, then we'll do a visual. So the collective. Basically, actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it a little visually. That's what I hear the Spirit telling me, so that's what I'm going to do. Just so everyone kind of understands. So, can you see that? Yeah. So, right. So we have the divine, okay, which is like the top who you consider your higher power, okay? And there's the divine right there, shining love and light to all its creation and children, right? Okay. And then this will intertwine and give you definition of the higher self, because basically the divine is connected to
really sorry, but eating the same dinners over and over again was driving us crazy. You guys have no idea how hard it is to cook 7 nutritious meals a week for 13 different people.
the higher
I'd say your dad does a pretty great job.
self. Okay, so the divine is connected to your higher self.
Cook for your own
Okay.
family. That's it. Let us know.
And
We have tons of ideas. Dad will get a break. We'll make something delicious and show you what's to mix up the menu.
below the higher self,
Ooh, we could probably use this onion.
you have your lower self,
Remember, guys,
which is you in the here and now. I'm just gonna, for lack of space and time, just do abbreviation for lower self, okay? And your higher self is connected to your lower self. But remember, it's also connected to the divine. Okay? And then you have kind of like right underneath your higher self, but above your lower self. How do I put LW? Lower self. You have like your spirit guides. Okay, they would be like right here. So they would be like right there, the spirit guides, right? Now lower self. What is that? What's the purpose of that, etc.? Well, the lower self is our insecurities, our doubts, our ego, our pride, and, jealousy, etc., right? So that's our lower self with kind of all those negative characteristics. Now, what is the higher self? Well, really, it's not much. The higher self, which is you, higher you, okay? And I know this might be hard for some people to wrap around their head around, but just if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. But I do strongly, like with whatever information I give you that resonates with your soul, you take. And if there's something I missed or something that doesn't quite feel like it's jiving with you, take it to spirit and get your answer. Okay? So this is, kind of the weird part is we're here, but part of our soul lives on the other side. Okay? So while we're down here as our lower self with all this negative stuff, there can be positive stuff that we do as we go along our spiritual journey. But up here, our higher self is simply just focusing on the purpose of our soul, protecting us, and making sure that our souls are growing, that they're learning to love, self-love. They're simple. So let's see. All right. And so then when we think about, okay, well, how exactly does my higher self work for me, right? So I'm going to draw this image real quick. Well, this is how your higher self works for you. Okay. You see all these other bodies? Okay, which there would be a lot more. But if you look at all these other bodies, okay, one's your higher self. But who are all these other ones? Which there'd be a ton more. Well, all those other ones are the collective. They're everybody else's higher self. And that's what makes up the collective. So, what the collective does and your higher self does is they get together and they talk about, how can we help each other? How can we help bring love and light and spiritual awakening to each other? Speaking about their lower selves. So they can influence you energetically. So let's say like you're at the store and you come across someone that you just kind of feel a connection with. Okay, say his name is, I don't want to say a corny one, but it'll no, I don't use that one. Say his name is Hector. Okay, you can talk to your higher self. So you can say, hey, higher self, I really feel a connection with this guy Hector. Can you help me get the courage to talk to him, see if maybe he wants to go out, something like that. And then what will happen is your higher self will talk to his higher self and figure out if he sees you in that way too, or if he's not interested or happens to be married and isn't wearing his ring, something like that, then your higher self would then energetically, like I said, communicate and influence you that, sorry, not the right one, but it's okay, we'll get there, right? Or they might say, okay. And then you and Hector talk, and then you meet, and then that's when we start getting into these soulmate, twin flame, karmic relationship things, which I'll get to. So now, basically, the divine really what it does is it influences our thoughts and feelings. Okay. And mostly on a spiritual basis, but not always. Okay. The other thing that's important to remember is, the collective gets together, okay? They set intentions for you, for the people around you. You could be having a get together at your house or something, and everybody that's there, their higher self is there too. And so the collective will set intentions. And So just like they can communicate and influence you energetically, you can also speak to them. Like I was just saying, sorry if I repeat myself. Oh gosh, that was another thing that I didn't really get into, but this was a huge shift for me. And I'm already very pretty highly spiritually awakened. I pretty much have now come to know what I am, what my gifts are, what I can continue to strengthen. I know the healing I can do. I know, just like my purpose, my job. I look at the gods and the angels as my creators, as my true mother and father, but also kind of as my bosses. I work for them to help bring this information that they're trying to bring to humans, but not everybody is open to it. You can be, but not everybody is. So anyways, and also know your words, and you may have heard this before, your words are very powerful, okay? Because everybody in the collective and your higher self can hear what you're saying, can see what you're doing. It's kind of like how they say God never sleeps and karma's a bitch, and if you're lucky you'll get to watch. You need to be very careful on how you're treating others. At the very least, if you can't stomach to treat them all nicey nice, maybe they hurt you bad, at the very least you can forgive them, move on, because they no longer serve your higher good. And then yeah, but when you want to talk negative about them, belittle them, gossip, what did I write right there? Anyways, bottom line is know that it's going to affect you negatively because of the collective. Everybody's higher self are all about positivity and love. And if you aren't living that way, you're going to keep repeating the same bullshit cycles that are making you negative or narcissistic to begin with. Okay, having to create false egos because of some old hurts and pains that you didn't work through. That's why I think this message is so important for the new year, because this is a very big time spiritually, where to the point where they're literally sending light workers down in human form to help transform humanity into a better place. So many people are suffering. So many people are hurting. So many people are bringing each other down. Instead of, it's like they say, the only time you should ever be looking down on someone is if you're helping their ass back up. Otherwise, like I said, if you can't do that because of, past stuff that happened with you guys or whatever, you can't do it. But you can at least forgive them and not talk negative or put negative intention out there. Okay? And another good point that I saw on a video. And it's so weird because I just was thinking it before it was mentioned on a video about getting like an evil eye type jewelry. Okay. Because it's just honestly, that is what it is. It's that powerful. It's that powerful. Either people, and I always say this, like people are one of three things. Either they don't know that they know, or they know, but they pretend to forget, or they remember not to forget. And I'm talking about like the way, how do I want to say it? Like the way you're supposed to treat people, to live your life, to treat your family, to treat strangers, to treat your spouses, your partners, or even down to just your child's other parent, which is a struggle for a lot of people. But that's a huge one to really work on and try to at least forgive and move on past all of this negative shit. Because you're not going to be able to ascend and have positive stuff come your way living like that. So, I hope this all makes sense as far as the collective goes. So,
well, I'm afraid Rochelle is.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, it's, bottom line, it's we're all down here living different lives, making different choices, hurting people, loving people, learning lessons, relearning lessons, growing or regressing, or you know what I mean, just all that stuff. But it's getting more serious than just, okay, we're going to give you a million lessons until you learn it. I really feel like, as far as the collective, that we're running out of time. And I don't mean to say that to be like scary, like, oh, the apocalypse is coming or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's coming to a point where either you get it, and if you get it, then, and the divine feels like they got it, they can handle the next step, which is positive after they've been through all the shit, or no, they don't get it. They're gonna have to wait till their next chance, and who knows when that could be. And so then in between time of those two, you're just reliving the same shit over and over. So I strongly feel that the reason that things felt so strong and different spiritually as we shifted into this new year is because a lot of people are running out of time to figure their shit out. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Oh, that's beautiful. Figure your shit out, okay? Doesn't mean you have to go all crazy. Just a simple forgiveness. Because honestly, forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. It's for you, babies. And sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. See, that's how hard it's been. And I apologize. Like, I haven't been on my channel, and every day I've been meaning to. And it's like I kept hitting these huge, like, overwhelmingly fatigue spells and downloads to the point where I was like, I can't even get on there and share information because stuff's just coming in so fast, so rapidly. You know, like, you'll hear people talk about downloads, and that's when, you know, spirit, divine, higher self is basically downloading information into you. Like, you won't know it today, but all of a sudden tomorrow you'll know it, you know? Well, I got that kind of hardcore and was completely exhausted, mentally exhausted. Not necessarily spiritually, but when you're so exhausted in other ways, or, you know, or mentally, because of all the information that comes in, it can be hard. But I'm back and I'm here, and I just want to send y'all a lots and lots of love. Other little ones crying right now. So I think that pretty much wraps up the collective portion of what they wanted me to get out there. Because, like I said, I do watch a lot of videos because I enjoy supporting other people in their spiritual stuff, and we can always all learn for each other. I always say, the second you think you got it figured out or you know it all, you should be fucking scared, because you can never know enough, never learn enough. And that's what we're here for, to learn from each other, especially as light workers. And whatever gift you may have as a light worker, it's very important that we give each other support and encouragement, and are kind to each other with our different gifts. Because we already kind of, I mean, we have our self-esteem is okay when we're doing our thing, but like when you're out there in the real world and you see people going around on autopilot like robots, and you're so spiritual because you're on a different journey and given a different job, it could be a little, well, not a little, it can be very draining, and it can be confusing. You know what, still, it's just a weird thing. It's like you're in a damn video game or something, and you just want to get back home to your sanctuary where you're safe and you can be who you are spiritually, which is a what's the word I'm looking for, a creation of the divine. That makes sense. I hope that made sense, y'all. I want you to know that I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching my videos. Like I said, for 2019, I'm definitely gonna work on other content versus just reading that I feel is important to, just because, you know, at first, you know, it was just reading the cards. I felt like that was the only thing I really wanted to. I already did it other ways, in person or emails, but I just started doing it on YouTube, and I was just going to do that until I had that huge, like I was just talking about, fatigue episode, download, messages coming from all my peeps, and I'm like, whoa, can we all talk one at a time here, and can we all remember that I'm still human? I can't do as much as y'all can do in one sitting. So but yeah, if you have any questions, just comment below. I'll be happy to answer them. I really hope that made sense for y'all and understanding what the collective is, because that's a huge thing to know spiritually, and especially if you're trying to grow spiritually and you're getting oracles read and tarot read, because a lot of people will do readings for the collective, because I'm sorry, it doesn't really matter. I mean, sorry if I hurt someone's feelings, but I'm not really going to sugarcoat anything. It is what it is. You can, to each all come from different creators. Maybe that's not the right word. It could be the right word. It's in my head, but it's like there's not a word for it that I can find. But we all like a different energy source, maybe. I'm not sure. If anyone is on the same page as me there and knows what I'm talking about, feels similar stuff, please comment below and help me straighten that out, because that just, I don't know, just made me really confuse myself. So I'm gonna wrap that up for the collective and what that is and what it means for you and your life and those around you and your spirituality. And then I'll continue going through the other things that, Spirit was telling me to clarify for people, because it rarely is getting clarified. And if there is information on it, it's almost like you have to specifically look for it, because you'll hear the word, but you won't hear an explanation. So you have to literally physically search for it. So I am kind of thankful that they stopped me and said, hey, why don't you put this on your channel? So that way when someone is coming specifically for a tarot reading or oracle reading or whatever, they'll see this other stuff and it'll help them too. Yeah, so I think that about wraps that up. I mean, I'm definitely not stopping the readings by any means. I just want to add variation. And that came from them. I mean, I was kind of fine just doing the readings, but it came from them, and it kind of switched. Maybe they just added to it, not necessarily switched, but it's kind of like they added to my quote unquote curriculum of spiritual advisor. I don't like to use titles. I don't know, but this is the best I can come up with for now. So anyways, like I said, I'm sending a bunch of love and light. I hope everybody had an amazing New Year's, no matter what you did. I know that we did, and we just stayed at home, had pizza, played games, had fun, and it was the best New Year's I've had in a long time. So yeah. So anyways, since the little munchkin's up, I'm going to close this off with a vibrational tuning thing. When you hear it, just kind of close your eyes, listen to the vibration, and try to connect with your inner higher self like we talked about. And think of what you would want to ask them possibly. And maybe some of you will get that connection. Maybe it won't happen today, but if you ask them, it will happen. We have to ask for our needs. It's like people always want to think, well, if they're these strong divine beings, then shouldn't they just already know? Yeah, they already know, but we have free will. So we have to ask. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do this with you. If the first one comes out good, we'll leave it like that. If not, then I'll do a second one for us. So just go ahead and take a deep breath and listen to the tone.
There was something wrong with that coupon, wasn't there? It was expired.
Timberlake, we just received a phone video of the attempted nacho bomb bags, and we're going to show that.
I know that there is some background noise here, and I apologize, but that was actually a pretty good one. So even if you didn't get as much of it as you heard, I still help send that energy, that healing energy to you to help balance you energetically. And yeah, we'll go into more later. I send a bunch of love and light, and let's make 2019 a great one spiritually. Because once you get that, nothing can touch you. All right, love and light, y'all. Thank you. Okay.